Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I'm gonna show you a 2007 action-adventure horror film called Primeval. Spoilers ahead. Sit back, relax and enjoy. The movie begins with a disturbing scene of a mass grave. Dr. Kathy Andrews, along with her team and some militaries, are examining the area. Coming up to the conclusion that all the deceased are killed in the same way, Dr. Andrews searched for more. As she spotted another site thinking it is another mass grave, she was attacked by a huge crocodile. The militaries tried to save her, but it is too late. Dr. Andrews was killed by the very same killer that killed all the people she was just examined. Meanwhile, in New York, Tim Manfrey is having a huge problem after his story of accusing Senator Richard Porter of bribery, which negatively backfired to them. His boss called him to his office, but unexpectedly, his boss did not talk about the Senator Porter story. Rather, his boss introduced him to Aviva Masters, another reporter that focuses on animal stories. After watching the news about the death of Dr. Andrews, he figured out that his boss wants him to produce a story about the killer crocodile, and he is right. Also, his boss wanted him to capture it. He was about to refuse, saying that there is an ongoing civil war in Africa and his boss assured him that there is a ceasefire so they will be safe. But more importantly, he is on the verge of losing his job because of his story about Senator Porter. In the end, Tim had no choice but to accept the job. Tim, together with Aviva and Steven, his cameraman, go to Africa. When they arrived in Africa, they were greeted by a guy named Harry. Tim wanted to finish the project as soon as possible, so after discussing the terms of their journey with Harry, they meet with Matt Collins, a crocodile expert and the one who is assigned to help them capture Gustav, the killer crocodile. The four of them set sail along with two military men for protection. The night falls, Tim and Aviva are talking when their boat were shot by some rebels. The two militaries successfully take down the rebels, however, they realize that they are still in a war zone and their lives are still in danger. They arrived at their destination in the morning and meet with Jacob Krieg, their guide. Jacob took them to the village and they are surprised to see how festive the village is. But when they see a dog floating in a man-made boat in the river, Aviva pitted the dog and gets it out of the river. Matt, later on, discovered that Jacob is a poacher and reminds him that they will capture Gustav alive. After spending the night with the locals, and getting the blessing from the shaman of the village, they proceed to their plan. The villagers help them take the cage, where Gustav will be trapped, to the Kibera wetlands. On their way to the location, there is a group of rebels watching them pass by. A villager named Jojo noticed them, but they also left after some time. When they reached the river, all the locals went back to the village, but Jojo along with the dog stayed. The team started to set up the trap. They put a goat showered with blood inside the cage to attract Gustav. Meanwhile, Steven puts up the camera to monitor the situation, while Matt prepares his electronic transmitter to attach it to Gustav in case they were not able to catch it. As they are waiting for Gustav to show up, Matt and Jacob prepare themselves in a distance where Matt will have a clear shot. And then, Gustav shows up, but it did not fell for the trap. He moved away from the cage, but Matt successfully put the transmitter on it. The two went back to the camp. A stormy night passed by, and they woke up surprised that the goat is not in the cage anymore, and the camera is not working. Steven decided to just go back to camp to put the computer and to shoot some sceneries around. While shooting the beautiful nature of Africa, he spotted a car coming. Hiding, he witnessed the same rebel that watched them pass by yesterday kill the shaman and his family. After recording everything on camera and waiting for the rebels to leave, he rushed back to his team. After seeing the footage, Aviva wanted to expose the crime, but the rest of the team did not want to. Frustrated, she walked out of the camp. Unfortunately, one of the two militaries heard them and reported to his radio that their team witnessed the shaman's family murdered. Meanwhile, without anyone noticing, Jojo went inside the cage and started shouting to call Gustav's attention. Back to the camp, Tim is convincing Steven that Aviva is right when Steven sees Jojo inside the cage through the monitor. They all rushed to him. On the other hand, Jojo is still calling for Gustav when a flock of birds surprised him. He falls and his weight triggered the trap and the cage closes. Then, Gustav shows up and starts attacking and pushing the cage to the river. Tim and the others arrived and Jacob throws a bomb into the water. He was about to throw another when Matt stops him. Tim, then, goes straight to the river to save Jojo, and Steven successfully revives him. Then, the soldier who accompanied them starts kicking Jojo. Steven and Tim step in and Jojo runs away. At the camp, Aviva is back and she witnessed that the other soldier is stealing money from them. He then points his gun at Aviva, forced her back to the camp, and tries to rape her. When suddenly Gustav shows up and attacked the soldier. Aviva managed to escape and she ran into Tim and the others. They all went back to camp together to find it messy and some of their equipment destroyed. They all decided to leave in the morning, but Jacob heard the other military reporting to someone about their plan to leave the camp, so he urges the others to leave immediately, but he was shot by the soldier. He takes them to the riverside to kill them. He commanded them to kneel, but Steven refuses. The military was about to shoot him and Jojo saved him by shooting the military man. The group, then, go to the fishing hut where there is a first aid kit to treat Jacob's wound. Aviva is trying to call for help when Jacob revealed to the group that Gustav killed his wife in front of him, which is why he is eager to kill it. Gustav then shows up and starts attacking them. Matt was about to get eaten and barely managed to survive. Gustav then attacks the foundation of the fishing hut and they all fall to the water. They still manage to get to the base of the destroyed fishing hut, but Jacob is decided to die with Gustav. He, then, pulled out a grenade when Gustav bites and throws him into the water. A huge explosion happened and they all thought that Jacob managed to kill Gustav, but he did not. Gustav jumps out of the water and eats Jacob in front of them. Morning comes, and they are still on the destroyed fishing hut. Although tired, the group still manages to joke around, especially Tim and Steven. When they spotted a helicopter coming, they make a run for it. However, an RPG bazooka was fired on it and it was forced to fly away. Matt continues to run to it, but he was run over by the rebels' pickup truck. Securing the kill, one of them shoots Matt repeatedly, while the other one opens fires around the area. Luckily, they are able to lay down. They try to sneak past them, but the two rebels spotted and chased them. They decided to go different directions, but the rebels still manages to follow them. Steven is the only one who really gets isolated from the group. Aviva barely managed not to get shot and run over by the pickup truck, same with Tim, but Jojo was shot and he falls to the river. The rebels were not lucky either because their truck also crashed. The one shooting from the back of the truck hits his body on a tree and dies, but the driver is still alive. He gets out of the car to go to Jojo and kill him. He is about to do so when Tim arrives with a gun. Unfortunately, it did not work, so they fight using their brute strength. The rebel is overpowering him when Aviva showed up to properly kill the rebel. The three of them, Tim, Aviva, and Jojo walked away from the area and Tim realizes that Steven is not with them yet. He decided to look for him while he let Aviva and Jojo continue. Then cut to Steven walking in a swamp where he faced Gustav. It chases him as he runs away as fast as he could, even managing to trap Gustav between trees. But it is too powerful and it continues to chase him and it cuts to white. Now back to Tim, he is only able to find Steven's camera. Losing hope, he went back to Aviva and Jojo. A car showed up and Harry steps out of the car with one military man. They thought they are already safe, but when Tim saw the shaman's necklace when he put Jojo on the back seat, he connected and realized everything. Harry is the real Gustav, the leader of the rebel group. Harry demanded Tim to give him the computer. Tim came up with an idea. He tells Harry that the computer is located where the transmitter is pointing to. Harry then takes the two of them with him to follow the location where the transmitter is pointing to. They use a boat to get there. Luckily, there is still one container of blood used to attract Gustav in the boat. When they are near the location, Harry orders Tim to get the computer himself and he will be accompanied by Harry's soldier. When Tim arrived at the area, there is no Gustav, but the bones of the dead animals and his friend, Steven's dead body. Luckily, there is a jungle knife and he used it to stab the soldier. The soldier's scream distracted Harry and this gives Aviva a chance to spill the blood on him. Aviva takes this chance to run and Harry goes after her while firing his gun. Tim and Aviva finally catch up to each other, but Harry also catches up to them. Harry shoots Tim multiple times when Gustav arrives. It attacks Harry and the two took this chance to leave. They manage to get back to the car and the dog shows up again and Aviva goes to get it. But Gustav is already there. Tim drives and bumps the car to Gustav before it gets to Aviva and the dog. The two of them manage to get into the car but it is stuck. Gustav was able to pierce its head inside through the back of the car. It starts mauling them and Jojo is just a seat away from Gustav's mouth. Tim, then, finds a BOLO inside the car and starts stabbing Gustav in the mouth. It pulls its head outside. The car finally gets out of being stuck and they immediately cease fire. The movie ends with Tim and Aviva in the airplane watching a clip of Steven on his camera. Along with Jojo and the dog, they went back to America. It then shows that a ceasefire between the Hutu rebels and the government was implemented, and Gustav was shown attacking for the last time saying that he still lives and hunts for food. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.